the question is, how does a Black mom, a Black dad, um, a Black community raise Black children to truly, fully, completely love themselves? Um, and that is the question. I'm going to start with a little situation that happened at the end of the school term for this year. A friend of mine's, she homeschools her children, and um, three of her children, because they're all like really smart. um, Three of them enter college before they were 18. Two were 17 and one was 16. And she still has young ones at home that she's homeschooling. Along with academics, she's really raised her children to love themselves. Very, Black centric. Um, to love their skin, to love their facial features, their noses, their lips, their skin, because there is a bombardment of negativity um, against our features. So our physical features. So she and her husband and both grandmas, so my friend's mother and her husband's mother, um, are very Black centric. And so she's, raised her children to love and embrace themselves. They've raised their children on how to deal with negativity. I can't get that word out. Negativity from other races and from their own, and how it looks, how it can make them feel that negativity, that racism, and how to handle it. So what happened this past, I think it was May, when she picked them up. She picked her two daughters up from university, and she goes to get, to pick them up. They come out to the vehicle, and they both have synthetic hair, and this is a first. This is not something that they do. I mean, the mother, all the children, girls and boys, the dad, both grandmas. I don't know if I just said that, but both grandmas. And they all, have always worn their hair natural. No synthetic hair, no wigs installed, as the term goes, installing a wig. I remember the first time I heard that, I was like, install. That was like the weirdest thing. It sounds like a construction or some type of maintenance type of thing. But anyway, they don't do like wigs and weave and any of that. So basically, when she saw them, she was very happy, to see them, but it hurt her, and she was very confused. Now, she picks them up, she sees them. They don't discuss it, they don't acknowledge it at the time. She's telling me about what happened later. She didn't even tell me about it right away because I didn't see the girls for probably like about a couple of weeks, because we weren't able. I talked to them, but I hadn't seen them since they've been back from university. But she explained to me how she felt. Now, this friend, I've known her since junior high. We've been very close. And, she's helped me through things, emotional times and all of that. And I've helped her in the past. One reason this is so still heavy on me since May is because she's still struggling with it, and I'll explain the struggle. And because another thing is that all, when she was expressing to me how it made her feel to see her daughters with the wigs on, or it could have been, um, well, she just said synthetic hair, so I'm not for sure if it was weave or wigs, but she said it really crushed her. It crushed her. She said she felt like a failure. She was very confused, and it just really surprised her. And she still hasn't shaken it. Now she to this at this point she hasn't talked to me about the discussions she's had with her daughters, um, or if they've said anything to her. I mean, in time, I know we'll end up talking about it, but I have seen the impact of it on her. It's really hurt her. And I want to explain why. She, again, her whole household, the grandmothers, the father, and her, have really taught their children to love themselves. And for her and her household, for her daughters to have this synthetic hair, it, and for, I'll say even for me too, because um, I understand fully how she's feeling. I get the pain and the confusion. And she also feels like a failure, which really hurts me that my friend feels that way. She's an excellent mom, an excellent mom. And she's not a failure. Her children are thriving. They're very intelligent people. You know, for her to feel like she's a failure is um, very painful to me too, because for my friend to feel that way about herself. I expressed to her, I talked to her and said, you're not a failure. And we talked, and I said to her that basically all anyone can ever do when they are speaking to someone and they have an idea, they have an ideology, parents and the way that they raise their children, all we can ever do in any arena as far as like communicating with someone when you're presenting an idea is present the idea. That's all we can do. So one person can only present an idea to another. As far as like convincing them to follow it, to believe in it, that's up to that individual who the idea is being presented to. So she, they've taught their children again to love themselves, and her daughters, I'm thinking like being around other they're not children, they're young adults at this point, even though they were still children when they entered school. The first term, that didn't happen, where well, to the best of her mom's knowledge, but all she could do is present, you know, her beliefs on loving your hair, loving your full lips, loving your nose, loving your melanin. And now what I believe, and again, what I believe is that they've been influenced by other people. I know that they've seen, because it's really sort of rare to see Black women nowadays with natural hair. I mean, you do see it, but it's rare. There's a lot of Black women who wear wigs and um, other forms of synthetic hair. So I'm not for sure what's going on with the girls. I haven't spoken to them. It's not my place to do so. If she asked me to, because I have spoken to them about different things, but that's only with their permission. It's not my place to speak to them on my own, about whatever the topic may be. I mean, sometimes we've sat, my family and their family, we've sat and we've had great discussions for hours. Literally, we've talked, and I love that. My family and her family. As far as this topic, um, there's no way that I would call them and ask them what's going on or anything like that. If she asked me to do so, or if they want to talk to me, then I would, listen and, give my opinion. But I really do think that them being around other black females, it's a little odd because there are black women in their family who wear synthetic hair. So, and again, their freshman year, they did not, well, to the best of her knowledge, they didn't. That's, she said that they didn't, but really in my mind, I'm like, I don't know. Maybe they did. Maybe they were wearing synthetic hair, and they just didn't show her. This time, I guess they decided to let her see, what they were doing. I know for a lot of people listening, they may not think it's a big deal because there are a lot of black women who wear synthetic hair, wear weave, wigs, pieces, all that stuff. But there's a population of black women who love the hair, no matter what the texture is, that's growing up out their scalp. They embrace that hair because that's them, and they don't choose to cover it up with hair that looks like other races. And so that's why this has impacted her, to the degree that it has, because for her, it looks like, and I do understand, and to me, I have to say, to me too, it whenever I see someone with synthetic hair, I really do see it as covering up who they are, and them not loving themselves fully. That they, and when I see women, and because there's women in my family who, gosh, Lee, I don't think they ever go out with their hair not, you know, covered with a wig. Um, I mean, really, some of the women in my family, some of the relatives that I have, their whole demeanor, their attitude is even different. Like in between installations, let's say, they're down. Their attitude is more gloomy. But when they get that weave done or that wig installed or whatever, their whole personality changes. It's so bizarre to me. And I've even been put down for, and I won't go into my story right now, but I've felt negativity from relatives because, and this is when I was perming my hair, but I just wasn't perming it a lot. I probably permed my hair when I was doing it towards the end, when I was perming it, probably before I stopped perming it altogether, maybe like once or twice a year, because I really was getting out of that. I was raised to, basically, I would say, to hate my hair because I was taught that my hair had to be straight. I was taught that. I was raised in that. Um, so that's one of the connectors, that one of the things that my friend and I really connected on when we first met is our blackness, and us loving that. This is a topic that we, share the same opinion on. So, but I was saying that um, it's impacting her because it's more than just aesthetic for her family. It's much deeper than that. You know, the thing about it is that, and as I was saying, in her family, there are women who wear synthetic hair, but they never fail. They never, wanted to wear synthetic hair because of them. I mean, they've seen it. My point is that they've seen other black women close to them, black women that they love, some of their aunts and things, do that. So it is a little confusing for her. She's still dealing with this. Um, when I saw the girls, um, they didn't have it in, and everything was fine and everything. But I still, I know my friend, and I knew that it was still on her mind. So from her perspective, she feels like a failure. She feels like she's failed in raising her children to love themselves, because for her and both of her grandmas and her dad, um, seeing and knowing that their daughters got the synthetic hair or wearing it, they feel like that is, and I do too. I do believe it's a form of self hate for Black women to want to cover up what is genetically grown up out of their scalp. That our hair is us, it's us. So to cover that up is like covering up yourself. And that's what I believe. That's what they believe. And they're just wondering, like, what's going on with them? Why would they want to do that? They have beautiful, thick hair. And they just were trying to figure out what was going on. I mean, they are young. Um, and time will tell, like how this is, how all turns out. For me, it's really right now, I just really hate to see my friend down like that. And it hurts me, it pains me to hear her say that she feels like she's failed. She even said to me, like, what did she do wrong? I mean, in a moment of, during a conversation. And I just, man, I felt like I couldn't help her. I did tell her, as I said earlier, about presenting an ideal to someone. That's all you can do. It's up to them to accept it or reject it. But that didn't help at all. I didn't know what else to say. I mean, that is true, but I wanted to console her, and I wasn't able to do that. So that I feel bad about. They're going to work their way through this, and in time, everything will work out. I know I did say that to her too, but again, at that time, at that moment, she's still trying to figure it all out. Um, but the topic of self love, like fully, and I mean fully, because there are people who would say that, and we're talking about Black people in particular here. So there are Black women, let's say, who wear synthetic hair, wear the lashes, all of that, and they say that they love themselves. But I always have this question, because they say there's this term too, protective hairstyles, which I have no idea what that means. I really don't. People have tried to explain it to me. It doesn't make sense because I've never worn a protective hairstyle, quote unquote, protective hairstyle. It just seems like it's a justification for covering up your hair. When it's been explained to me, it's like they wear the hairstyles, the wigs to protect their hair that's grown. The way you protect your hair is through eating healthy, hydration, and keeping your hair clean and maintaining it. That's how you do it. You don't protect your hair by putting sticky glue on it and installing it with all that, putting all that synthetic stuff that has all those chemicals. That's not protecting anything. That's actually causing damage, not only to your hair, but to your body. Recently, there have been reports in the news about all the toxic chemicals in synthetic hair. And then also, like with the weaves and stuff, like the real hair, quote unquote, that they like to purchase, they were talking about how, like, even on Chris Rock's, not a fan of his, but he did a documentary on Black hair, and in it, I think when they were over in India, I think they were talking, and they were talking about how a lot. It was mentioned how the hair at times has lice in it. And I mean, I'm not trying to do any of that, and I just am not the type of person by my nature to want to put fake hair in. So it's to me, for somebody to fully love themselves, they're not going to cover up anything about themselves that they love or deem beautiful. So, an example is like when they talk about wearing the protective hairstyles, which, I mean, what is the point in having hair when your hair is covered like 24/7? I mean, you might as well just shave your hair bald, put a bunch of glue on it, and then glue some wigs on all the time. I don't even, because to me, the women that I've known, they keep weave and wigs on like all the time. So, and they keep saying that it's a protective hairstyle, but protecting what? I mean, and one relative, her hair, she had a bald spot, you know, um, and while she was wearing the protective quote unquote hairstyles, and it that's not protective, that's like damaging. And my point is when, because people who are related to me have put me down for not following all of that. And so what I would say to them is this, and to anybody that's listening, like when you love a feature about yourself, you show it. You don't hide it up under a wig. I mean, just think about like a black woman with a large rumster, okay? She's not going to try to hide her butt. She's going to show her butt. That's what they do. Um, if she likes her eyes, she's not going to wear dark sunglasses all the time to protect her eyes. If she has nice looking eyes or whatever, she's going to want to accentuate that and show that. So, or any other feature, any feature that a woman likes about themselves, they're going to want to show that. They're not going to want to cover it up. So that's why when I've gotten into discussions with women who wear weave, and I never initiate these conversations. I just want to bring that point up because, people do what they want to do. I mean, I may not agree with it. They may not agree with what I do, but people that wear wigs, a lot of times they are very judgmental of women who don't. And that's been my case in with relatives and other people because they feel like I should conform and wear a wig. And I don't want to wear a wig. I don't want to wear weave. That's not me. That's not my nature. So, and then they're always saying that the reason why they wear them all the time is to protect the actual hair that they do have, which makes no sense at all to me. So when I bring up the point about and they say that they love their hair, but they're constantly covering it. And when I bring that point up about when somebody loves something about themselves, they show it, it's always silence. I never get an answer or response to that point, you know. So, as far as my friend and her daughters, and this may be been somewhat of a ramble. Again, I'm just starting out. I have to get more structure. Please forgive me for any rambling. But my point is that when someone fully loves themselves, in my opinion, and this is my belief, I don't believe that you uh, would cover up any of your features. You would, because you love them and you don't want to cover them up. You don't want to hide them. So that's just where I am with that. And I just want my friend, gosh, I just wish I could help her with it. And I haven't been able to do that. When we talk, I mean, she is getting past it. Again, I don't initiate any conversation on it because I don't want to be intrusive. But I know in time that she'll, talk to me about it. Um, but I completely understand her pain and her confusion because she would have never thought that they would have done that. Another concern that she has about about why, the reason, the why to want to, her daughters wearing synthetic hair is a big thing here that she's concerned about.